Today we're going to go over more or less something specific in regards to hypertrophy. So this segment here is going to be based on if you're looking to put on a little muscle size, little muscle hypertrophy, and the environments to do so. We're also going to transition into the opposing side of that and say that you could still do the same type of movement and activate more of the core and stability muscles as well. So we're going to start now. We're with Vladimir today, and we're going to ask him to set up a basic chest press movement. We're going to go over just how some people have learned in the past as personal trainers. You know, this exercise bay is really a home to learn how to do things properly and the reasons why not to do things. So we're just going to ask Vladimir, he's a trainer in training, so to speak, to set up a chest press on our free motion machine. Vladimir, pick up a reasonably light weight so we could, for the demonstration purposes. I take it the weight wasn't being reasonable. Okay. All right, just a couple repetitions in a proper form stance. Code, come around this side. As you can see, the mechanics of the movement are very good. What I want you to do is I want you to come back slowly and just pause for a second. Okay, as far as his body posture and his positioning on his feet, one foot in front of the other, I'd probably just open his stance just a little bit, right about here to give him a little better base to support. So the back foot over a little bit, good. Okay, just to give you a better base to support. As you can see, there's a little bit of water running down his arm, so you're not getting that shoulder elevation, that impingement, which is really nice. And as he adducts the shoulder girdle, go ahead, go through that range. He comes back to midline. Hold that right there. Come right around the stick for me. Can you touch the stick for me? There you go. So he comes to midline. And that's the whole purpose of the pec. It's a horizontal shoulder adductor. So bottom line is you want those two shoulder joints coming together with the arms that are nothing more than extensions off the core coming together to midline. However, you knew I was going to say that. There is something we could touch upon. In this position, he's semi-loaded. Keep your arms together. Can you straighten your arms out for me? Okay, when he straightens his arms out, he's loaded through his joints. As you can see, the load line, we call this an opposition line, the direction of resistance. It's kind of pulling. So if I was to pull this load, here's what would happen. Look what's happening. Look at the force and the angle. It's actually taking him into elbow flexion. Okay, opposing forces. I want the load, can you hold that position? I want the load to be coming out of his elbow right here, just as if it would if it was a dumbbell. So we're going to make some changes. Okay, I'd like you to bring both arms back out to midline. Okay, I want you to release the cables. Good. Step out for a second. We're going to create opposition, okay? We're talking about muscle hypertrophy, so we have to have a pull on the humerus. There's no opposition. As you went through, you were loaded through the joint. Yeah. Okay, so what's happening is you're coming back and you're loaded through the joint. I want to pull through here. Yeah. Okay, not excessive. So we're going to open this up just a little bit. Not much. Okay, so I went from a number 3 to a number 4 on the machine, and I want you to feel the difference on the pull on the humerus. Yeah. Okay, now to get into this machine, when you're alone, can I just show you something? Yep. When we're alone and working versus when with a client, my suggestion, a couple different ways. Come into a sling position, bring the load over, come into a sling position. Okay, now, doesn't matter how heavy the weight is, and walk back and bring the weights forward. Okay, it's a safer position. Same thing when you come out. You could bring him into a sling and let him hit. Much easier this way than to have your arms rip back. Okay? So as your trainer, I'm going to hand these to you. Come on in. One foot in front of the other. In that position, straight arm. Okay, hold the posture. As you can see now, we're in direct opposition because now the cables are coming out of his elbow. So as he comes back, pause. If you look at the load now, as this load pulls, okay, it's not taking him into elbow flexion. It's keeping everything at that 90-degree angle. So he's going to get the proper stimulus in the pec region by adducting his shoulder girdles. Good. Go to midline. Straighten your arms out for me. Okay, and then hold that position. You can tell me if you feel a difference now because you're getting more of a pull and more regional emphasis in the pec by the direction that this load is pulling.
Yeah, I can feel it more.
Okay. I want you to notice one more thing. Hold that tight. We're going to watch him turn to the side and watch where this cable ends up. Here's how you check positioning. If you keep your arm straight as possible and rotate to the side for me, just a little, notice that cable is in the center of his shoulder. Obviously, come back to center for me. If the cables were too high, as if the pulley was high, can you hold that position?
Yeah.
If the cables were too high, you'd be getting this type of a pull. If the cables are too low, it would be pulling up this way and elevating the shoulder girdle. So we talk about opposition, direct opposition, direction of resistance. These are the opposing forces that adduct the shoulder girdle properly. So this is the most effective and optimal way that you could train your chest for the goal of muscular hypertrophy. Do a couple reps. There's a lot to this. I know we're just learning a chest press. Can you slow it down just a little? We're also thinking about this. Vladimir is against a brick wall. Come on back and hold and press. We don't want to go any further than that. If you could take a piece of Velcro and put it here and here, as he goes back, go ahead. If he goes any further than that, that Velcro is going to tear. So we don't want to go any further than that because that's excessive range of motion on the glenohumeral joint or the shoulder joint. Plus, the pec shuts off and the anterior deltoid kicks in and facilitates the motion. Okay, the anterior delts are in there already, but we don't want to stress them by taking it into an excessive range of motion. So we want to stay right in this posture. Now we're going to play a little game. Okay, hold that position. You good? Switch your leg position for me. Every once in a while, switch your leg position so you could fire and stabilize intersegmentally other muscles that are supporting this platform that Vladimir is exerting force off of. Okay, so you always change it up. Everybody always puts their right foot forward or the left foot forward. Every once in a while, we're going to also try to challenge your body by doing one arm at a time, back to midline. One arm at a time, back to midline. One arm at a time, back to midline. Both arms, back to midline. Now walk back towards the machine, keeping your arms straight as possible. Walk back, go into a sling. You could never get hurt. That was our chest section based on muscular hypertrophy at exercisebay.com. Thank you.